What's going on, everyone? My name is Sherwin, and today we are in the Model X studios inside the Park Studios. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the Model X Plaid. It reached 10,000 miles, and this occurred July 20th, which is 269 days from delivery day, which was October 25th, 2023. And so what I would like to share with you is we're going to walk around the exterior, talk about the exterior. We're going to talk about the interior, and we're going to go for a drive. I brought a couple of luggages to show you some room in the trunk area as well as the frunk. And we're going to be talking about some issues that I am still dealing with. Actually, just one big issue that's left from after the post-delivery service appointment. So I have videos on that. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. We will begin with the exterior. So as you can see, it is ultra red color, the exterior paint, and the interior is cream. So if you're not familiar with this channel, this is our second Model X. Our first Model X, 2022 long range, was bought back by Tesla because of the issues that it had. I have videos, a playlist, all that stuff in the channel as well. So if you want to go check it out, please check it out. But the money that we got back, which was pretty much 100%, we ended up purchasing the Model X Plaid, a 2023 Model X Plaid, to replace it. Even with all those issues, we still bought another one. Now, it is ultra red, but we did put Expel PPF on this. It is a matte finish, that's why it's the Expel Stealth. We also added mud flaps on the Model X. These are EV base. They are a sponsored item on this channel. I have a video on it plus a discount code, so just check out the video description to find all that stuff out. So we took delivery October 2023. These come with the Matrix headlights. So the Matrix headlight is not just one bulb, but it's made up of small LEDs that shine in a grid pattern. This also allows us to have adaptive headlights where it would turn in an angle towards the curves for better visibility. And it also includes adaptive high beams, which all Teslas should have it, I believe, which came in a software update. Now, we did tint the windows. We did not tint the windshield, but the front windows we tinted at 40%, and the rear is 50%. We like to keep it as close to stock as possible. The tint that we use is 3M crystalline. Again, I have videos on this tint as well in the channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. As mentioned, this is a Plaid, and one thing you can notice to distinguish it from a long range is the red brake calipers. They didn't always have the red calipers. I think they started putting them in mid 2022 or 23. I can't remember. There are some Plaids with the refresh that did not have the red brake calipers, just black ones. And also it does come with the Plaid badge. Now there's two versions of the Plaid badge. One that has Plaid, like the lettering, the word Plaid spelled out, and this logo, this symbol, that is Plaid. It is a little bit dirty. That's one thing that Abby and I don't like about matte finishes, is it shows the dust a little bit more than if it was glossy. We also wrapped the side mirrors in a carbon fiber pattern, as well as the spoiler we also wrapped in a carbon fiber pattern. This is a TinyBot 60. Next, we're going to take a look at the frunk. I have it popped open, and I have a check-in luggage. I guess your standard. I'm not really sure what the dimensions are, but you will notice that you cannot put this in the frunk. That's not going to work. It's not going to close. However, A carry-on luggage will fit no problem. Just to show you what the Frunk looks like, we have a mat here, but that's pretty much it. There's a, I guess a thing that pops up on the side, on both sides actually. And this comes with the Model X. This is for your hitch because all Model X comes standard with a hitch. And what this is, so what's inside is the hitch receiver. They all come standard with the Model X. Inside the frunk, you also have this toe screw thing. I forgot what this is called, but I'll put it on the screen once I figure out what it is. There's also an emergency release latch button here. Now this is used to pull your Model X out from the front. And unlike the Model Y and Model 3 where they have these circles here to remove the cap, that is, I believe, inside there. So it's different on the Model X. Continuing to walk around, we have camera up there. We have camera over here. We have camera over here. And we have a camera on the rear. Now this does not have USS, ultrasonic sensors. It uses Tesla vision. So you're gonna notice there are no little round circular shaped things on the bumpers. Now these doors actually open, what are they called? Like not self-presenting, but they open. So if you press on the button, these will open. You will notice that it opens a lot wider. When we first got the vehicle, I believe they disabled the ultrasonic sensors for whatever reason, and they would only open like this much, maybe even less than that, but they reactivated it, I guess, or re-enabled it. So both doors now do that like how they did before. The other ultrasonic sensor is actually here where I guess they call it a fishbone. It's in between the Falcon wing doors. I don't know if you could see it here, but that is to detect objects above the Model X so that it doesn't accidentally open the Falcon doors and hit something. So let's say you are in a parking structure or inside your garage, it knows that it should not raise the Falcon doors all the way. They also have ultrasonic sensors on the doors here to detect objects that are next to it. So if there are cars, then it would not open all the way, it would open partially. And so I have clips of that in the garage opening. But yeah, so these are the Falcon doors. No objects around, so it's going to open all the way. We are now looking at the rear. We have the trunk popped open, and as you can see, you cannot fit a regular size luggage or a check-in luggage if you were to make them stand up like this. Now this is a 6-seat configuration that all Plaids come with. There is no other seat configurations available for the Plaid. However, you can get a 5-seater, 6-seater, and 7-seater for the long range. Now, one thing you can do to get more space in the back is you can remove this cover. This cover can be lowered into another level, which we did. Now let's try it again with the luggages. So again, you're not going to be able to fit this because this curve will tell you that you ain't getting in. So it's still not possible to have it stand up. You can lie it down and be able to close it. And now let's try this check-in luggage. It might be tight, but it might work. So I've never really tried this. because we have a different configuration that we normally travel in, and I'll show you that later. But let's try and close it. So no, you can't close it. You can't do it that way. Removing the carry-on luggage will close. So there you go. Now, if you remove the entire cover, there is the subcompartment all the way down there. Now, this you can fit. You could probably fit 2 of these guys back here. But I'm just showing you that we have a carry-on luggage and a check-in luggage, and it should close without a problem. The thing is, though, you're not going to be bringing that, because where else are you going to put that? That's not going to fit. Although you may be able to lie it behind this, but yeah, you're not going to bring that. So the subcompartment looks like this, and I know it's messy, but on the side we have additional compartment space area. That's where I put my drinks. If you checked out my other Vegas videos, I show you that's where I put my beer and stuff. But yeah, and we have also this extra space right here. I put my CCS adapter, which came in clutch while we went to the Grand Canyon. Now, how we go on our trips, we're usually 5 people. And I know it is a 6-seater, but we travel with 1 seat down like this. And we have the cover. So what we do is we pretty much load everything up here on this space. We usually travel like that, and we have more space. So we'll push this in, and then our backpacks can go here, and our backpacks can go in between the aisle over there. So this is how we usually travel, because there's only 5 of us. Some of you may not be familiar if you recently took delivery of a Tesla. This is the mobile charger. These no longer come with Tesla vehicles. You could buy it afterwards, but they no longer come with it. All right, so we are inside the Plaid, and it's very similar to the long range that we previously owned. But one thing that separates it from the long range is the carbon fiber interior pieces. So wherever you see carbon fiber in the long range, it's actually walnut. And I kind of like the walnut trim, the walnut finish and stuff. And again, this is the cream interior. Also, the seats have black stitching on them for the Plaid. In the long range, they do not have black stitching on them. So carbon fiber center console, where it's walnut in the long range. You have your wireless chargers here. Just like many wireless chargers, they're not really that great. They're fairly slow, and it does heat up the phones to a point that sometimes it gets too hot that it would stop charging. We have a 17-inch screen right here. It's touchscreen, very responsive. The Model X and S refresh has the ability to play Steam games. I have a video on that if you want to go and check it out. You could also play arcade games. It's a really nice and big display. The Cybertruck is slightly bigger on the center screen at, I believe, 18.5 inches. The Model X also has a secondary screen behind the steering wheel that displays additional information. Now, this Model X that we have is the, I guess, the regular steering wheel. The previous Model X we got, we chose to get the yoke steering wheel. At that time, it was free. And I like the steering wheel Abby does not like the steering wheel. We opted not to get the steering wheel this time because it was like an additional $1,000. So, and plus Abby didn't like it. One complaint I have is these buttons are trash. They suck. I hate it. So they're touch capacitive. I test drove the Model 3 Highland, and they are real buttons. Cybertruck also has real buttons. I wish these were real physical buttons. The turn signals don't bother me as much anymore because I'm so used to it. And you will also notice there are no stocks, and I'm also used to it. Now, it's just whenever I jump between Model Y and the Rivian and this, those two other cars have stocks in them. Another thing that I don't like is this horn. It's not here. This is nothing. It does nothing. See, it doesn't, it's just the airbag. This is the horn button. The new versions of the steering wheel have the horn in the correct place, quote unquote correct place, which is right here. The way to open the door is this button. It is also touch capacitive. It is not a real button, unlike, again, the Model 3. And I think the Cybertruck is also a physical button. I don't like it. It just, yeah, I just don't like it. Now, one great thing about this is the windshield. It is huge, as you can see. Some people call it the helicopter cockpit windshield. And you may think, oh, when the sun is out, which the sun is out right now, does it get hot? Yeah, it can get pretty hot. Now, this part is more dark than the front ones over here. And this does have a shade that I'll pull out right now. And they're magnets on the tip. And these don't really get that big. The flap isn't really that big, but you can adjust it to block the sun wherever it is. So it's nice. It's not too bad. You know what helps is the ventilated seats that this vehicle has that I wish all vehicles had. Now there are speakers here. And the sound system, just like in all Teslas, is great. It's really great. The pedals are aluminum, I believe, just like the Model Y Performance and Model 3 Performance. I don't think the long range has these. I believe they're just black pedals. So one thing I'm going to mention that I don't like about the steering wheel, and I don't recall it being a problem with the yoke, but maybe I just ignored it, is, so this is about the point of view of where my eye is. This part of the steering wheel is blocking this part of the screen. Now you may be wondering, oh, that's not too bad. Well, the thing is, there is a menu button right there that's blocking it. Also, your radio controls are there as well. You can't see what song is playing, if you can see it right there. But yeah, that's one thing I don't like. That I don't remember if the yoke actually had that issue. But yeah, it's blocking it right there. So I don't know if y'all have had that issue or just didn't pay attention to it, but yeah, it's blocking my view. The next thing I wanted to share with you that is kind of a negative is this A-pillar. Many have mentioned it with their Cybertruck, but I think it's in all Teslas, but this A-pillar is pretty wide. So it can cause blind spots in that area depending on your angle and everything. Now, there is a small window here that maybe you could peek through, but there are times that I always have to double check that there's no pedestrians crossing or anything like that. It's just, Yeah, this is pretty wide. All right, we are now gonna head on over to the second row and check that out. All right, welcome to the second row. Now this is a 6-seater configuration. Uh-oh. Let's turn on the air here. Because it's a 6-seater configuration, we have the captain's chair, and this is like a very important configuration. We didn't want the 7-seater config nor the 5-seater config because we already have a Model Y. But we wanted this aisle because we came from minivans. And so the only reason why we got rid of our minivans is we didn't want to drive gas anymore. But if we weren't switching over to electric, we would still be in a minivan because it's very spacious to us. We've had a Toyota Sienna and a Honda Odyssey. Out of the two, I like the Sienna more. So I rarely sit back here, but whenever I do, the seats are very comfortable. This is actually where I sit if I'm ever supercharging and it takes a while and I need to go edit videos. I edit videos on this side right here. This does have a screen back here where you could control the HVAC system. You can control your seats, your heated seats. So all 6 seats have heated seats, but the front ones have ventilated seats. The other 4 seats do not have any ventilation. You could also control music here. You can watch movies here. You could play some games. Now, Steam games is not compatible or is not available on the rear screen, only in the front screen. And you have your settings here. Now you can add Bluetooth devices. This was added at a recent software update. You can add headphones as well as video game controllers. You could only connect one Bluetooth controller and you need to use a USB cable for the second controller. As far as headphones go, I'm not really sure how many headphones, but at least it's at least one you could connect headphones. So they finally gave you that option, because before, without the Bluetooth headphones, if my kids wanted to get entertained back here, well, I'm sharing that entertainment also in the front because it shuts off all of the speakers and only plays whatever's playing back here. We have cup holders there, and we have 2 USB-C ports there. I've mentioned this in previous videos. I do not like where the USB-C ports are placed back here because as people walk by, you may clip it. And guess what? It happened before. We've lost the USB cable. It broke. Luckily, the part of the plug didn't get stuck inside, or else that's going to be an expensive thing. Or maybe I could have pulled it out with tweezers, but luckily it didn't break off all the way. So just be aware of that. Don't walk by and hit that cable. On the third row, it's right there, which may also happen when you are moving in and out of the third row. In a previous service video with the Plaid, I mentioned that the seats were malfunctioning, but it turns out, according to the service technician, there was some dirt running along here. So be very careful not to get this part dirty. It's already getting dirty here, but it could mess with the rails or prevent it from moving forward or backwards. But that's what they told me. Now, getting into the back, because it is a 6-seater, you can just walk into the second row and walk between these 2 seats through the aisle and easily make your way there. Otherwise, you can use this button. and make your way. As far as leg room, there's plenty of leg room. I mean, I'm not that tall, I'm like 5'5", so it's not going to be an issue for me. But the third row has also leg room right here, and we're going to head on over to the third row right now. All right, we are in the third row, and it's fairly comfortable. Again, 5'5", I'm not that tall. There's plenty of headroom here. Now, maybe it can get hot back here because, as you can see, there's the glass right there. I can actually feel it. My youngest son loves to sit back here, and he's never complained about it being too hot. Now, you're gonna see that there are vents here, sorta. I was looking into it, and they said that these aren't actual dedicated vents, but more of just like for airflow or something like that. But again, my son sits back here all the time and hasn't really complained about how hot it is. There's really not much else to say about the third row other than, yeah, it's here. Okay, we are now going for a little drive. But before I go, I turned off the vents, the AC, because I want to share with you the ongoing issues with this Model X that we've had on this Model X as well as the previous one. So hopefully the microphone can pick it up. Okay, so hopefully the microphone picked those up. I turned the vents back on because it's really hot. But yeah, that is the ongoing issue with both Model X's. I'm not going to say that that's what caused the buyback. They won't share that information with me. But even with this Plaid, it's causing that, like that noise, that clicking noise, low speeds, turning the steering wheel. Now, service has addressed it. They fixed it. They said that it has something to do with the bash plate, and they've corrected it. They repaired it once, but the technician shared with me that he is not confident that it's going to remain fixed, and that if it does come back, it might come back with a vengeance. And actually, that clicking is louder sometimes. So it's not, you know, I don't know. I won't know how it sounds like until I edit the video, but hopefully the sound, that clicking sound came through okay, and that you were able to hear it. So this is, at the time we bought it, without any additional options, it's a $90,000 vehicle. Is that something to expect for a $90,000 vehicle? I mean, for me, no, it shouldn't be. But it's one of those things where it's a Tesla, and it's kind of like not surprising. Now, I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing, like we're just been conditioned for that. But we're just living with it because we do love the car. So he says that he knows that other Model X's have had this issue. It's a common issue. I don't know. So, but now we are driving, and so here are some things I want to share about the driving experience. This car is amazing. This car, I'm not even going to talk about the performance part, but the adaptive suspension, it's very comfortable. You know what? I got to turn on the ventilated seats. Hold on. Okay, so it has ventilated seats. The suspension is just really smooth. It's awesome. You could adjust the dampening. You could stiffen it up. You could soften it up. It has all that. You could raise it up. You could lower it. Now, by default, it's on low setting. After a certain speed, it'll lower the car. If you're on like standard or high, it's gonna lower the vehicle. I think at 35 miles an hour or something like that. So the suspension is great. The cabin noise is great. There's actually active noise canceling in this vehicle to cancel out road noise. So which is why that clicking noise sucks, because the cabin is fairly quiet. As far as road trips, we've taken the Model X to many road trips. No issues with supercharging. We're already used to it with the weights and all. As mentioned earlier, there was an issue in the Grand Canyon area where supercharging wasn't really available, but I did have my CCS adapter, so Electrify America sounds really weird, but saved the day. But this car is like very comfortable. It's fun to drive. The big windshield is just like, the view and everything is great. Yeah, I mean, with all the problems that we've had with not only this car, but also the previous car, we still got one. I mean, that's kind of a testament to you know, how great this car is. Many of you will probably be like, man, if you're having so much problem, why'd you get another one? Again, the good stuff outweighs the bad stuff. I mean, I miss our minivans, but we're not going back to gas. There is just, you know, yeah, we ain't going back to gas. But yeah, this is a great car. Now, if we're gonna talk about the performance, it's a freaking Plaid, y'all. If you haven't experienced Plaid, oh my goodness. The long range is already crazy. That's why it has an insane mode. The long range has an insane mode that is exactly what it is. It's insane. Just the speed is insane. Like, no vehicle this size, this shape, should be able to travel that fast. Now, even more with the Plaid. Now, the Plaid is a tri-motor with one motor in the front and two motors in the rear. And man, it's really, I can't describe it. I talked to some of you offline who also are Plaid owners, and we be typing up messages with smiles on our face. You can't even see the smile, but we know we're smiling as we are typing these messages, because man, it's just a really different feeling of driving a Plaid. Now, talking about like FSD, I tried FSD on this car, and this has hardware 4, so I have videos of that. I have a lot of videos, y'all, so please browse around the channel. I have a lot of content with many different things, but I just, the way FSD is in my area, it is just not worth it for me. Even at $99 a month, it still doesn't know how to handle dips. So it, oddly enough, it handles it fine in the Model Y, but that has a hardware 3, so I don't know. But yeah, just check out those videos regarding FSD. But yeah, this is such a fun car to drive, road trips. Going up hills, like when we go to Vegas, there's a lot of uphills there, and it's nothing. Like that uphill, it just laughs back at me and says, is that all you got? Like, man, it just eats through uphills like nothing. If I need to change lanes, like, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is a really great car despite the issues that we have with it. I mean, fortunately, both cars, the issues that we've had weren't really related to any safety issues. Although the last car had its steering rack replaced, so I don't know. But at least this Plaid, the issues that we've had is, I guess, cosmetic, and I don't know. But that clicking noise, they said it's the bash plate. It's common, has nothing to do with safety or drivability. So yeah, I mean, it's been a great car. It's just, I don't know if the word is disappointing that there's issues, but it's one of my favorite to drive. But the Model Y is also a favorite of mine, if only if it had ventilated seats. Yes, it's not as fast as a Plaid, but it is a performance. But again, another video I want to promote. There's a video of me talking about the size of the Model X and the Model Y. So check out that video as well. I got a lot of content here, y'all. So hopefully you guys are browsing through the content of the many years that we've owned several different Teslas. The Rivian truck is also, man, I love that truck too. It's fun to drive. But if I ever need to drive something just insanely fast, just crazy fast, this is the car I jump on. I don't drive or push the Plaid limits often because it's just one of those things. When you get used to it, you just know that it's capable of doing it. So why do it? Plus, we have EVs because we want to save money. And some of you may think, oh, it's a $90,000 car. How are you saving money? It's like, look, we would have probably bought a $90,000 gas car anyway. It's not like we're gonna hop on a Honda Accord comparing it to a Model X, a $40,000 Camry. And it's like, oh, why did you buy a $90,000 Model X and you say you're saving money? It's like, no, because we would have bought a similar priced vehicle and it's going to be gas. So it's going to be more expensive. So we would have probably got like, I don't know what we would have gotten. I mean, even if we got a minivan, our last minivan was the Honda Odyssey and it's the Elite trim. So it's like the highest spec one. I think we paid, I don't know, like 50 or 60. See, I gotta run this right here. I think we paid close to 60,000 for that minivan, and it's great and all, but it's not fast. I think it gets 18 miles per gallon on a good day. It is more spacious, but we knew what we were getting into going in. That's why I did additional parts of this video where I showed you about the space for luggages and stuff. Even though it is a third row SUV or third row vehicle, don't expect much when those seats are up. When they're down though, you do get a lot of room. Now, the second row, the captain chairs do not fold all the way down, so you're not going to get that additional space by folding it down. It doesn't fold down, it just bends down. So if I ever need to bring in some large objects, I was using the Model Y. This is before I had the truck. So don't expect that to happen. If you have the 5-seater or 7-seater configuration, then yes, those should fold down all the way to get all that room. Now, we've renewed the registration for this vehicle. Our renewal is about to come up, but in California, you're looking at around $1,200 to renew this. This configuration, I believe we paid, I think like 95,000 before taxes. And you may be wondering, why not just get the long range if you're not going to use the Plaid part of the car? Because the 6-seat configuration for a long range is already $6,500. We only needed to add another $3,000 to get the Plaid, So we're like, you know what, might as well get the Plaid, get the 6-seat configuration with no additional cost. And at the time that we bought it, the ultra red color option was free. It normally cost an additional $2,000. So at that time, the color options were free. But as far as just overall impressions, that's exactly what it is. I'm impressed. This car is really, it's really great. It's amazing. Set your expectations correctly when purchasing the Model X. I don't know what Tesla's going to do with this vehicle. It just seems like they're just ignoring it, because quality-wise, this is not improving. I mean, if you're one of the lucky ones who have a Model X with no issues, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. This is our second Model X. We were thinking lightning does not strike twice at the same spot. Well, it did. It did for us. You know, I mean, I'm happy that many of our issues post-delivery have been corrected, but that clicking noise is just, man. And some of you are probably wondering, like, well, bring it back to service. Yeah, you know, my experience with Tesla service hasn't been all that great, and it's one of those things like, okay, we'll just ignore it as much as we can, because it's like, we have to hope that nothing else breaks when we get the car back. And then some of you are probably like, then why do you keep supporting Tesla? It's like, well, as if there's any other, like, there's no other option. Rivian is the closest thing we would consider. And you know what? I just took my truck to the Rivian service center to get the glass roof replaced, and I got it back with a different glass damage while they were repairing. So yeah, I don't know. And the funny thing is, many of the Rivian service technicians come from Tesla in my area. The same service center I have had issues with. Oh man. So yeah, I don't know. It's like, no, don't tell me to go back to gas. You'll have a better experience. No. What I get out of driving EV outweighs the bad experiences. And it wasn't even a perfect experience owning gas. We've owned gas for many years, and it's not a perfect experience. So, but yeah, I don't know. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments below. I mean, you're probably gonna ask, should we get a Model X? It's hard for me to answer that question. All I could do is just share my ownership experience with the Model X. If you want to roll the dice and hope that you get a good Model X without any issues, man, yes, go get it. Go get it. If you have the patience to go to the service center, if you do have issues, go get it. It's a great car. Love it. But you know, my definition of a great car could be different from yours. So all I could do in this YouTube channel is just share my ownership experience with you all. So I'm gonna be putting up the trip data, not trip data, but just efficiency data of the 10,000 miles that I've driven. And then we're gonna take a look at the tires, the tire wear, because another common thing that people talk about with the Model X is tire wear. If you accelerate a lot, you're gonna eat through those tires. And also do expect that you will have uneven wear because there is a negative camber on the Model X. Many Teslas have, if not all, have negative camber. So you're gonna get a lot more inner wear than the outer wear. So just keep an eye out on that. But then, yeah, just take a look at this efficiency chart that I've put up. I also put up the nation's average, I think is 16 cents per kilowatt hour. I'll put up the cost for driving 10,000 miles. I also will put up like miles per gallon and, you know, MPG cost and all that compared to gasoline, different pricing per gallon and stuff like that. So just go check it out. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.